Hello and welcome. My name's Sarah Ryan. We're going to be looking at the subgenre Gothic horror, in particular the vampire, through the lens of Fred Bonning's negative aesthetics. We'll take a journey through this text to help us understand Bram Stoker's Dracula and Anna Lily Amarpour's A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night. Gothic horror began in the middle of the 18th century, when Enlightenment was establishing itself as the dominant way of ordering the world. Alongside this drive for order and understanding, we have Gothic horror, also revealing the social anxieties of the time. In Dracula, we have the dark, foreboding castle that Jonathan naively visits, surrounded by forests and howling beasts, and a host of townspeople who basically tell him he's heading towards his own death. In A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, we have Bad City, filmed in black and white, oil pumping machinery in a large ditch of the outskirts of town filled with dead bodies. Quite an atmosphere. Arash casually walks with his cat by a ravine of dead bodies. We're instantly in the understanding that up is not up and down is not down here. Early on, we go along the road of insanity with Jonathan as he journals watching Dracula climb down the castle walls like an insect. Dracula is portrayed essentially as an irrational bad actor. He is jealous, petty, described as having a child's mind. He's out to destroy and will stop at nothing to take his revenge. He is the perfect villain. There's no room for moral development here. There are definitely no depictions of sanity and security either. Loss and recovery. The sublime. Jonathan brilliantly loses his mind while a guest with Dracula. He is all too close to losing himself to desire with Dracula's wives, but does manage to find himself recovering, and Mina Harker, saviour and holy mother, luckily for Jonathan, marries him and helps him return to his health. Mina serves as the pillar of what a woman should be. Her dedication to Jonathan and the joint cause, which she is often excluded from, gives the men hope in their darkest hours or minutes. Mina works and wants to learn new skills, all for the sake of her being useful to her husband. She has little to no agency herself, and of course is blessed with a son as a reward at the end. Unfortunately for Lucy, characterised as the new woman, ends up a blood-sucking monster who preys on children. Lucy has no desire to worship and live for her one and only man. She is a social woman, wants to marry all three of the men pursuing her, gets blood infusions from all three men, marries them all in a blood-bonding fashion, is killed by her lover, who is repulsed by her new appearance. The girl, intelligent, conscious, sexual, and a developing vampire. She's a vigilante ridding the world of scum. Is seen to be liberated. She takes on the silence of her culture and uses it skillfully, purposefully. The loss we see in perhaps her secret hatred of what she is. Her loneliness, which we watch her recover from as she falls in love with the boy who accepts her as she is. So we have two vampires here, very different. There is no romance in Dracula's heart, but there is intellectual and emotional exploration in the characters surrounding Dracula. With the girl, we have a romance and an exploration of who is being socially responsible for the well-being of self and others. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is rebellious and free-thinking. The girl is facing her shadow self. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night is also moving away from the being pierced and the sanctity of motherhood. The girl is ridding the bad city of its rotten fruit. She's protecting a prostitute, a woman who's far from the ideal woman. We're getting to see the humanity in the vampire now. She's playful, getting around on her skateboard. She's choosing when and where she wears her chador. The vampire has agency. Her love for the boy was a transformation for her. We see her falling in love and revealing her true nature to him. We see a new woman who explores herself, loves music, and protects the innocent. We see her becoming less lonely in the world. The sense of hate for what she is lessens as she allows herself to be seen. oh, if only Dracula had had a quarter of these revelations. Some of the questions that we can ask, particularly surrounding the social anxieties of the times in these two pieces. With Dracula perhaps playing on the social anxieties that England was vulnerable to foreign invasion. If Jonathan had had respect for the villagers of Transylvania, would he have listened to their warnings about entering Dracula's castle? You know, actually seeing these people and hearing them, instead of perhaps having the look towards them of a foreign person, someone who doesn't have the intelligence that he has, that the people have where he comes from. We also look at what the oil fields do to a society, no longer mined in the US, but in Iran. The roles women are expected to take on. What is being classified as an immigrant do to a person?